For national security purposes, it could be a very important thing to buy more Bitcoin. And that's not a moon boy thing. That's not an exaggeration. It's a real, legitimate thing that we need to look at in this video. And the reality of this situation is yes, we have a national strategic reserve now for Bitcoin where we're going to see us hold our Bitcoin that we already have. But we have not seen the law put in place where we're actually going to buy more Bitcoin as a nation until maybe later this year. We've got a bill that I want to talk to you guys about where the United States government could buy 1 million Bitcoin. Let's talk a little bit about it. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Crypto Kip. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this. So here is the big story here, and I want to talk about why this is probably in the long run going to be the way things go, which is very bullish for crypto. U.S. Senator and Congressman introducing a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill to buy 1 million BTC. This is a real conversation, and it is Senator Cynthia Lummis, who has a very pro-crypto individual. Now, without digging into the weeds through this article and going through a bunch of words, what I want to show you guys is that this is just being proposed, okay? What I also want to remind you guys is we've had some bipartisan crypto legislation passed for stable coins. We've also had an executive order come out where we're going to have a national strategic reserve for Bitcoin where we're just at least going to hold the Bitcoin that we have. But why would we buy 1 million Bitcoin, like 1 million Bitcoins? Well, here is an article that came out earlier this week, but we need to talk about this. Russia's using Bitcoin, and so is China and India for oil trades. Okay, thinking about this, if Russia and China and India are using Bitcoin for multi-billion-dollar transactions, okay? First of all, they're using it to trade with India and China despite global sanctions. Historically, sanctions are what the United States has been able to use to kind of preserve their political ideals here or there, which, you can make arguments of whether, the U.S. should be making sanctions here, imposing a additional fee on this type of trade, or imposing, a restriction of like no trade with Russia for this or what have you. So if Russia is circumnavigating the strategic limitations that the United States has been trying to put onto Russia for their, in the U.S.'s opinion, misbehavior, right? And there's no doubt there's a global conflict going on, and Russia is certainly the antagonist here. If Russia can go around just these sanctions, well, isn't that a risk to national security? Isn't that a risk to the powers that be in the world? And wouldn't you, as the United States, if you're trying to impose sanctions, clearly you want control, right? Well, if you control more of the supply of Bitcoin, then you would actually have more control over that asset. Now, that is actually a bad thing for Bitcoin in a sense, where now you have less decentralization. If the U.S. government owns 50% of the supply of Bitcoin, well, if they wanted to, they could tank the price. But also, wouldn't that bring you security in trade against Russia? And then when you think about it that way, it's like, well, if the United States government is going to buy 1 million Bitcoin to help protect themselves, to have more leverage against Russia using, because they can't have sanctions, the sanctions are getting evaded by Bitcoin trade. Well, what if you own the supply of Bitcoin? Well, then if the United States owns the supply of Bitcoin, well, then Russia's probably going to want to own more Bitcoin so that they could have more Bitcoin than the U.S. And now you've kind of got this race to be buying Bitcoin. And this is where we're going, guys. So I think it's really realistic that one day we're going to have the United States government buying 1 million Bitcoin. We might even have them buying more at some point in the future. It's very crazy. It's kind of wild times. But we've basically predicted this on the channel. And if you look at the Bitcoin rainbow price indicator, you'll see that by August, if we get up to historical levels, which is this kind of yellow band in this Bitcoin rainbow chart, Bitcoin could easily get to $250,000. That's July or August. It could go a lot higher, especially if the USA starts not only holding all the Bitcoin that they've acquired through a variety of acquisitions, but accumulating more. On top of that, what if Russia's accumulating more? China's accumulating more. India's accumulating more. It would drive the price of Bitcoin higher. Now, the negative side of that, like I said, would be that the supply of Bitcoin is then going to get into the hands of the governments. And now that's not as great because we like decentralization. But it's basically inevitable over time that the people that get into Bitcoin early are going to be better positioned than the people that get into Bitcoin late. And that is a critic. Some people criticize that. And, some people criticize that and call Bitcoin a Ponzi. Okay. But when at a globe's stage, you're talking about an asset being acquired by nations like gold. Do you think that the U.S. wants to mine more gold? Of course they do. They want more gold. They want to get more gold. They want to have more gold than other nations. And the same will be true with Bitcoin in the end. Does that make gold a bad investment? No. Gold's breaking highs. Gold is going up. So this is where I'm at, guys. I think that this crypto bull market is still ongoing. I think that we've only seen just the beginning actions behind the mass adoption for cryptocurrency and Bitcoin on the globe stage. And I just wanted to share some of this with you guys because I think it's very important. The United States government could buy 1 million Bitcoin, maybe even in 2025. I don't know if it's going to happen for sure, but there's bills being introduced, and I think it could be pretty exciting. And if you want to do some trading, you could trade some Bitcoin. You could trade, any of your favorite altcoins. You could sign up for Blowfin using our link in the comments down below. Man, I almost opened up a little long right here and had a nice opportunity. Look at this spike on Bitcoin right here. I do think that we're going to be finding some higher levels, guys. We hit the CME gap just earlier last week for Bitcoin. It filled at that $77,000 price level, and Bitcoin wants to head higher. Nations are accumulating Bitcoin. If you want to trade Bitcoin and trade some of the volatility, you can sign up for Blowfin and you get up to a $5,000 deposit bonus. Right now, there's a trading contest going on where you could win a Rolex, you could win a Nintendo Switch, you could win a bunch of cool prizes. So check it out if you want to, guys. I'm bullish on crypto, and I do think that one day it's going to be well above $1 million per Bitcoin. But this video is strictly basically about how, I think that the government will at one point hold over 1 million Bitcoin, and I think they might even buy 1 million Bitcoin. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the countries across the globe were taking a Bitcoin accumulation strategy as well for purposes of national security. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. That's all I have for you guys in this video. I'm Crypto Kip. This is a Crypto Report. Tap that like. I got more videos right here if you want to check them out, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.